All right, guys, Mrs. Scoops back here again. We are going to be looking at our color, our shape, our number, and our letter of the week more in this video, okay? So these are just going to be some ideas of things that you can either do by watching the video, some things that you can use the items in our Red Learning Bag, and just some other ideas that you can do around your house to help explore these topics, okay? Our color this week was the color Green, Green. I know how to spell green, Green. Great. You can go on a scavenger hunt, find things that are green. You can talk about insects that are green because this is a great color that has to do with insects. Look outside, go on a nature walk, look up at the beautiful trees because they're not all going to be Green very soon. We have a green book that kind of talks more about the color green and sings our beautiful green song. So let's take a look at the green book. Green, Green. I know how to spell green, Green. I like this because you can see all the things that we sing about. Caterpillars are green. Are those caterpillars green? And you guys told me that there's something special about a caterpillar in our question of the day. What happens to a caterpillar that makes it so special? It turns into what? A butterfly? That's so very special. Here's another green insect. And grasshoppers too. Grasshoppers are green insects. I know how to spell green. Green. All right, and what is the other green thing that is on here? Do you see it? I have a green ribbit frog, and he's sitting on a green lily pad. Do you know what color the girl's shirt and bows are? Green. The end with a big, happy green crayon. Good job. All right, our shape this week is the shape that looks like this. It is a rectangle. When we're talking about shapes, these are a great item to use to help you talk about the different things that make the shape unique. We're talking about sides. We're talking about points that they have, okay? So you can go through your beautifully laminated packets and find the rectangle. And on the rectangle there is a big, looks like a pretty rectangle, but I always think it looks like a rug. And it also has a rectangular table. I'm sitting at a table that is a rectangle. On the back side of this one is actually the one that sometimes gets quite confusing. This is a square. Now, as you're working with your Play-Doh today, it's actually nice that they're back to back, because we can start by showing why they are two different things. Although when you get older into school, you'll learn about the many rules about shapes and how there's some overlapping of what is what. But for preschool, we're going to talk about how a square and a rectangle are different, okay? So let's take our Play-Doh and let's push it on the square. That was one of the first shapes that we talked about, wasn't it? And what made our shape, the square, so special is it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. But why it's not a rectangle and why a rectangle is not going to be looking like this is that all of these sides are exactly the same. I'm going to peel my rectangle off. Can you see now that these all 4 same sides don't fill up my rectangle? Because a rectangle sides, although these are the same length, I need it to go wider this way. So you can actually see as you move your Play-Doh that I'm not making it any taller this way, but I do have to make it nice and wide to get to each of the 4 corners that make a rectangle a rectangle. All right, push it over as much as you can. And then remember, our shapes need nice straight lines. So now I can see my rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, and my sides are not all the same. I have 2 that are long and 2 that are shorter. Rectangles can look like this. They can look like this. I can keep stretching out my Play-Doh as long as I want. Oh no, I can keep stretching out as long as I want, as long as there are two sides that are the same and two sides that are the same. It is a rectangle. All right. So these are really great when you want to talk about your shapes. Okay, and it's right in your red learning bag, and so is the Play-Doh. I think I use the Play-Doh all the time to teach different things. All right, our letter this week, you can use things like your alphabet to kind of check off and do your ABCs and see, look, this is the letter of the week. It's the letter A, and it's just like the alligator. Great job. So here is our beautiful letter A that was up on the board, and this A has a capital A. We go up, down, across, and the lowercase a, we go around in a circle and down. Great. And it has an apple that is right there. Good. We have some really cool A things at school that you probably don't have at home. But this is when you would go on a scavenger hunt to try and find things that have that starting A sound. If you can't find a starting sound, you can listen for that A in the middle of the word. So we usually hold up these different objects and see if the kids know what they are. If they don't, we try to give them a clue and say it had to start with that sound. So this is an apron, something you'd wear when you're cooking so you don't get stuff on your clothes. We know this. It's a big, juicy apple. This is something that's on the tree. Squirrels love to find it. It's an acorn. Now this one's actually says its name A, doesn't it? It's a long A. Acorn. Do you hear it saying the letter A? Acorn. Good. And then there's always our letters that are in here. The dollar store has really great little like magnets and stuff for letters that you can just put on your fridge or on an old cookie sheet, and they'll stick on there, and you can kind of play around with the letters. There's a teeny tiny little ant, an alligator, and an anchor that helps keep a boat in its place. So I have a bucket of these, but you guys have a scavenger of things all over your house that you can explore the letter of the week. This is a book called The Adventures of Abby Alligator. Abby Alligator. Look at those A's. Abby Alligator. And she has a job. Do you know what that job is? That's an Do you remember it from our songbook? Let's see. Abby Alligator is ready to work. What will Abby do? Abby wants to be an acrobat, but she's afraid of falling. Acrobat. That's someone who's in the circus doing all those flips. Abby wants to be an astronaut, but she met an angry alien. Abby wants to be an actor, but she is awful. Poor Abby. Abby can't think of any other jobs. Then Abby has an amazing idea. I'll be an author. Author is someone who writes a book, and look, it starts with an A. How many things can you find that begin with the letter A? Now you can pause the video. You can let your kid take a look and find all the different A's that are on this page. There's a bunch hidden. Okay? Very cool. Oh, and it's so silly. All right. The last thing that we're learning this week is a number, and the number this week is the number 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the number 3. I always think that if you put your 3 fingers out, it looks just like the 1, 2, 3 little points coming out of a 3. The shield at the bottom is a 1, 2, and a 3. When we do our numbers of the week, this is a great time to go back in your number bag, and you can get out the gumball machine, and we can find the number 1, 2, 3. Boop. And you can color in 1, 2, 3 of the circles. You can color in the 1, 2, 3 gumballs at the bottom, and you can color in 1, 2, 3 circles. And each time we're coloring, we can count 1, 2, 3, and work on that number 3. Good job. There are also, don't forget that there are flashcards that look just like this with all the ABCs and all the 1, 2, 3s, and you can cut them up and you can use these like our plates when we say let's find 3. See if you can find 3 Hot Wheels and put it right here, or find 3 pencils and put it right here. Okay, you can also do this with our letters of the week. You can have this out and see if you can find things that start with that sound. Put it in a bucket, put it in a jar. You can just use these when you're practicing all your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s. Those are yours to cut and work on together. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great time. If you have any questions about activities, please let me know. All right.